Well, hey, everybody. I want to thank you all for coming back. It's been 4 months, and I got to thank you for all the prayers. As some of you may know, I was in the hospital for a while with a heart condition, and I definitely felt your prayers, and I appreciate all the love and support. And just thank you. Just thank you. That I'll do a video and talk about my experience at a later date. I'm not sure what I'm going to say on something like that. It is very kind of personal. But honestly, I never thought I'd be doing a video on the WNBA. I never could imagine it. But it's 2024, and the world has flipped upside down, and everything is. I guess we hit the reset button. But I want to go over WNBA, the history, and why we're here, where we are at, little Kamala Harris there, and talk about Caitlin Clark and the perceptions of what's going on. Because this whole, I don't know what to call it, a situation with Caitlin Clark and how she's supposedly being treated by the players in the WNBA and how the media is portraying it, and how society is looking at it is just fascinating right now. It is just wild what's going on. And when you look at it all, it just shows you that sports is a microcosm of what's going on in society. That's definitely so true. And the truth is, the WNBA is a professional league, and I don't think it's been respected as one. It's been around for 20 plus years. It's had some great players like Cheryl Swoops, Rebecca Lobo, Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, who's 41 and still playing, Lisa Leslie. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. You got Ajay Wilson now, who's making a name for herself. And you have all these great players as far as women's basketball is concerned. And it just seems like they've been completely overlooked throughout all these decades of playing women's basketball. And you could also say that the WNBA has not marketed the teams, the players very well. And therefore, there's a big information gap as to the WNBA and its presence around the world, the nation. What you know about the WNBA. Most people don't know anything about the WNBA. And you also look at the economics of it. You've got the NBA, who has been financing this league. A considerable amount of money has been invested in the WNBA. And so you have this thing that is still in somewhat of its infancy. If you look at the NBA, when it was only 20 plus years old, it was not even close to what it is now. It was not even close to what is now. At that time, it would have been possibly around the late 60s. The NBA had drug problems, racial problems, things of that nature. And you look at the WNBA right now, it has an image problem. And it also has a financial problem because most of its revenues are going to the NBA. They only keep 40% of what they earn. And a lot of what's going on is not really being told by the media. It's more convenient to do narratives that are more conducive to Caitlin Clark and not necessarily the league itself. That's where a lot of the issues are. And I imagine you have a lot of frustration all the way around when it comes to the image of women's basketball as far as they're portrayed in the media. You have talking heads claiming to make $1 million bets that a high school team, a top-ranked high school team, could beat a top WNBA team. Who's ever heard of that, honestly? Who's ever done anything like that when it comes to a professional league? Why would a professional league even entertain that? And of course, the WNBA didn't entertain anything like that. But you have talking heads and media people willing to do that in order to, I guess, discredit this league or whatever their motive may be. It seems like sabotage, so to speak, when you really look at it. And that's what's been going on with this league as far as those things are concerned. Then you also have a few player circumstances, like Brittany Griner going to Russia and having all kinds of problems. And I'm not going to rehash all of that, but you have all of that going on. And that's finally over. And then you have Caitlin Clark coming to the scene. And what's amazing about all this is the amount of money spent to market Caitlin Clark. And it's probably more than what they spent on LeBron, honestly. Because I remember when LeBron came into the NBA in 2003, and it was insane how much marketing they did for him. I mean, my friends and I we were laughing basically by the time he played his rookie game. You know, it's just like it was just not natural. It wasn't organic. And it was kind of anticlimactic because we were expecting a lot more from him because of all the marketing that he received. And I think the situation with Caitlin Clark is repeating itself, and we're getting the same deal. I had no idea who the Indiana Fever was, but they kept showing up on my Facebook Reels all the time. Oh, it's Caitlin Clark's team. And finally, it gets so old and so tiresome that, you can't open your phone up without some article being written, somebody saying something outlandish or just way above the top that it's just not even enjoyable. It's looking more like the WWE with storylines, but it's being played out on regular news media and regular sports talk. It's no longer sports. It's no longer about what's good for the game. It's what gets you views and clicks and what gets people to tune in and watch games. I mean, when you think about it, the Las Vegas Aces are the top team in the WNBA. They have Ajay Wilson, 2-time MVP, 5-time All-Star, and a New York Times best-selling author. I believe her book's titled Dear Black Girls, and it came in number 4 on the New York Times best-selling list. And you never heard anything about this. Nobody ever bothered to promote this. You look at across social media with all the basketball channels like Overtime and Balls Live, and they never talked about the WNBA until the Las Vegas Aces won the WNBA championship. Next thing you know, it's Caitlin Clark almost every day. It's almost like there's a central command somewhere that has sent out a memo to every media outlet in this country to talk about Caitlin Clark and create the narrative that she's being bullied and mistreated by the players in the WNBA. And it seems like they're just dumping millions of dollars on this. And my question is why didn't they do this before to grow this league, to develop the images of all these players in the WNBA before? Because there are players, like I just mentioned, Ajay Wilson, Kelsey Plum's another one of the Las Vegas Aces. There are quite a few players. Diana Taurasi playing at 41 is super impressive. To still be playing in your 40s. Those are great storylines that have never made it before, because I honestly did not see them. And being a huge basketball fan, analyst, and all of that, I honestly did not see any of these storylines. I've had to go do research. And I'm just asking, why hasn't the WNBA or whoever is responsible for the media and the marketing of the WNBA, why weren't they presenting all this to the public over the years? It just seems like a very poor job. And now it's like Central Command has said, we're going to shove Caitlin Clark down everybody's throat like they did LeBron. And if you are familiar with the term bronzexuals, those are the people that love LeBron no matter what. And now I propose to you Clark-sexuals, because these people love Caitlin Clark no matter what. You cannot say anything about Caitlin Clark without these people. Anything that may be critical, analytical, or anything normal, any reasonable conversation that may be quote unquote negative about Caitlin Clark. And you will get attacked. You will be called jealous, petty. I've seen people throw narcissistic. Everybody uses that stupid word. I don't think people even know what narcissist means, or if they're probably narcissists that are calling other people narcissists. Let's be honest. But the real thing is that you cannot say anything without these people getting offended. You cannot have a reasonable conversation with one section of the population. And then you have the media talking heads, and it seems like in every take, all they want to say is the WNBA is black lesbian players who don't like Caitlin Clark, the good, sweet, young white girl from the Midwest. That seems to be the narrative that they like to push. And it's gaslighting. It really is. Because honestly, when you get down to it, who's really lesbian in the WNBA? I can think of 2 players, and then the rest of them, I've heard stories, but it's rumor and hearsay. Rumor and hearsay. By law, a company cannot ask what a person's sexual orientation is, so how would they know about who is a lesbian and who's not? How would they know? Did they do a secret survey or anything like that? How would they know? So how can you even include that in your take if you're going to call them black lesbians? How can you call them lesbians if you don't really know? You're going off of rumor and hearsay. Because I can only think of 2, and the only reason I know of those 2 is because they publicly came out that way. But it fits a nice narrative. It fits the mold, and it helps sales, clicks, and views. That's what it does. You have all these different takes, like Caitlin Clark is the Tiger Woods of the WNBA, which is completely insane because she has not done anything yet. I'm not saying she won't. I'm just saying she hasn't yet. She's a rookie, okay? And she needs to be allowed to play the game without all this crazy pressure. The WNBA, after watching quite a bit of it now, getting informed about it, it is a physical league. And so she needs to get stronger, honestly. She needs to get stronger, and she needs to work on all kinds of different facets of the game to really, really be, quote unquote, a superstar. But she's not the greatest of all time in the WNBA, not as a rookie in the WNBA. That's just crazy, okay? Nobody comes into any professional league, NFL, NBA, WNBA, Major League Baseball as the greatest of all time. That's just crazy. But that's the type of narrative that's being pitched out there to the public. And it's just to a point where it's no fun to even watch. But what's even crazier is you've got this team, the Las Vegas Aces, is a really good, nice team to watch. But you have the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark's team, who's a 500 ball club, getting all the national games. I mean, they're televising 500 ball clubs over teams that win. It's like I said in the beginning of this video, it's not about sports anymore. It's about selling clicks and views and saying outlandish things. Today, I saw one commentator. He called Angela Reese, I guess the most untalented player ever or something like that. It was pretty over the top. I mean, I haven't seen anything like that in such a long, long time. I was just surprised. And yet Angela Reese is averaging a double-double in the WNBA. I mean, she can't be that bad. She's got to be pretty good to average a double-double in any basketball. I'm just saying. And so that's all the narratives that are going out there. And so until we get to that point where we can have reasonable conversations, this thing's going to get crazier and crazier because people keep buying into it. Olympic team. We'll address that real quick, okay? I don't think she was snubbed. I think there were some considerations made for her. And I think the timing just wasn't right. The USA women's team is going for an unprecedented 8th gold medal, and they don't need any distractions right now. They really don't need any distractions right now. They just need to get it done, and we should cheer for them because that is our team. That is USA right there. That is our team. No matter who's on that squad, that is our team. At least that's how I was raised to see it over the years, over the decades. I always cheered for Team USA. It didn't really matter who was on the team. I know we're going to do well, and I think they're going to get that 8th gold medal. That's the way I see it. I don't know why people want to get all upset just because their favorite player didn't make the team. You know, that's part of life. But for Caitlin Clark, she's just a rookie now, and that's probably way too much basketball. You've gone to the national championship game, and now you're going into the WNBA. You've not had a break at all. And she could potentially hit a wall, like Dr. J, in his opinion, stated earlier in an article that I read. And it's not a good thing to happen for her, not this early in her career. And that's gets back to my previous point. Let her naturally do this. Let this organically happen. Enjoy the ride. Calm down. Just because people are saying things that are critical, and they have every right to, because it's called freedom of speech, okay? Now, some people want to say, oh, well, there's consequences to freedom of speech. Well, of course there is. It means that the consequence could be that you could be happy, joyous, or this and that, and yada, yada, yada. But what they're really saying is retaliation. And I hope we don't get to retaliation just because somebody has a difference of opinion. I hope we can get back to reasonable conversations, especially when it comes to Caitlin Clark and the WNBA. And, well, you got to love it when the battery dies on the camera and you don't check it. So, like I was saying, though, let's be reasonable about what's going on here. Let's look at it from all different angles and not just because you like one player in particular. Now, from what I understand, I was talking about the Olympic team and how they were going for the 8th gold medal. From what I understand, Caitlin Clark is going to possibly be on the team. Need to get more details on that. And so this should be interesting. How are you going to react if she doesn't get enough playing time in your mind? Okay? How are you going to react towards that? That's one question of mine that it's got me really curious about this upcoming Olympics and how this women's basketball team is going to play. Now, as far as everything goes, it's time to chill and just enjoy and relax and enjoy sports. That's what it's there for. It's entertainment. It's listed as entertainment. That's what it's there for, is to enjoy sports. Just enjoy it. Don't worry about what somebody says about another team or this and that. Let's get back to the game itself and what it's all about. It's about enjoyment. That's what it's all about. It's just about enjoyment. You can't solve what's going on the court. You're a fan. You can't do nothing about that. Leave it up to the coaches and the players and just enjoy this thing. That's what we need to get back to, is enjoying the sports, taking our kids out there to the games, and having that bonding time with each other, away from the office, away from the house, but just somewhere where you can enjoy something for once, because life is too short. Trust me, after getting out of the hospital, you learn these things. Just enjoy the game. Just enjoy the game. There's more I could say about the WNBA. We'll see what Caitlin Clark does. It's just her rookie year. That's it. It's just her rookie year. And we'll see how she turns out career-wise. But what I am saying is there's a lot of things to enjoy out there, especially in the WNBA, as far as the teams, the Las Vegas Aces and all those other teams that are out there and these players. And just enjoy learning about this league and watching this thing grow. Watch it grow and enjoy it. Don't worry about what's being said about Caitlin Clark or any of the other players or teams. That's what I'm getting at. Just be reasonable and enjoy it. Life's too short. That's all I'm saying. So, all right. So this is like my first episode in like 4 months. I think on the next one, I think I'm going to do these weekly because they're kind of easy to make. And it's a little more efficient for me now that I'm working on my health. I'm thinking about talking about high school ball, boys basketball, girls basketball. Reclass is the new redshirt freshman. That's right. I think that's a great title. I saw that in an article once. I wish I could give that guy credit. It's a great article. It was a great title. Reclass is the new redshirt freshman. I'm going to talk about that and the recent rise in prep schools and everything that's going on in New Mexico basketball, NMAA. I'm going to do a whole episode on that next week. And I've got a lot of thoughts. So, with that being said, enjoy the game. Thank you for watching. If you're a player, thank you for playing. And I'll see you next time. Cool?